Welcome to Keys to Fostering and Adoption Success. This is a behavior and training video from Operation Pause for Homes. I'm Lisa, a certified trainer with OPH. Note that this information applies to both foster and adopted dogs. Introduction. We'll be covering a lot today, but it's all important stuff. With the excitement of a new dog, it's easy to forget some of these essential basics. To begin with, choosing the right dog. The critical shutdown period. Crates and confinement done right. Proper introductions. Avoiding resource guarding. Teaching calm and independence. Dominance myths, and where to get help. Choosing the right dog. Who among us isn't guilty of choosing a dog based on looks? But actually, other factors are more important. Age, size, and breed. Puppies and adolescents sometimes require the most. With puppies, you may be dealing with house training, teething, chewing, and the all-important socialization. With adolescents, you may be looking at a high-energy dog who has some training challenges. Also, a dog's size doesn't necessarily mean that they're more work. A lot of big dogs are actually couch potatoes. And lastly, breed traits should be considered. Some breeds are known to have a lot of energy, to be vocal, to be a bit nippy, to have a rough play style, or to shed a lot. Energy level. This is probably the most important characteristic that you should consider when choosing your foster or forever dog. And lastly, your environment. Are your family and pets, your home and your neighborhood a good match for the dog? Will there be issues with your family or your pets, with shared walls, with lots of dogs being walked in the neighborhood or lots of traffic being in the neighborhood? The critical shutdown period. It applies whenever a dog moves to a different home. Just imagine everything you know changing overnight. Suddenly you're in a new place with new people and perhaps with other animals nearby. It must be terrifying. That's why it's critical to keep your new foster or adopted dog in shutdown for usually a couple of weeks to minimize how many new things that your dog has to deal with. During the shutdown period, your dog should be limited to your home and to your yard. There should not be any introductions except to your human family, and please take those slowly. There shouldn't be any travel except to necessary vet visits. The more calm, quiet, structure, and predictability, the better. Crates and confinement. Limiting your new dog's freedom is critical, but dogs aren't pre-programmed to love or even accept being crated. They may never have been in a crate. A crate can be scary, and proper crate training can take a couple of weeks or more. Being confined to a room or a space within a room using baby gates, exercise pens, or other barriers may be a better option. If you do need help with crate training, contact OPH Training. We'll be happy to help. For a confinement area, it should have an easy, clean floor. It should be near you and family activity. And your dog should have things to do within the confinement area. I recommend having a crate in it as a bed with the crate door open. Also note that a dog really shouldn't be crated more than about 4 hours a day, except at night, but can spend much more time in a confinement area. Proper introductions. It is essential to introduce dogs correctly. Other than meet and greets, dog introductions come after the shutdown period. But during the shutdown period, you can trade items like bedding between the dogs. Dog introductions begin in neutral territory. Note that neutral territory is not your yard nor your driveway. Dog introductions begin with what are called parallel walks. That's where the dogs are walking on either side of a street. You're looking for the dogs to begin ignoring each other and to start engaging with the environment, usually by sniffing. At that point, you can bring them together, but just for a few seconds, then separate them again, and you keep repeating this. After a period of parallel walks, which can range from a few days to a couple of weeks, if all's going well, the dogs can meet in a yard with dropped leashes. Once you get to the point where the dogs are both inside your home, I recommend keeping leashes on for a period of time as well. Introductions Part 2. Even once your dog is completely settled in, it remains important to always introduce a dog to other dogs and people correctly. Understanding dog body language is critical to determine if an introduction is a go or a no-go. OPH Training has videos that can help you understand dog body language. Just reach out to us. Also note that dogs should not meet head-on. That's rude in dog body language. They should actually meet nose to butt. Also, dogs should not meet every dog they see. And the 3-second rule can be really helpful. That simply means that the dogs meet for 3 seconds and then you go on your way. Now, when meeting people, the dog should always be in the driver's seat. People should not be hovering over the dog. And actually, most dogs don't enjoy being pet on the head. Minimizing resource guarding. We all resource guard. That may come as a surprise to some of you, but it's the reason we have locks on our doors. We're trying to protect our stuff. It's a common issue with all animals, including dogs and including with rescues. It usually occurs over food or toys, sometimes because the rescue dog has had a lack of those in the past, but it can occur over spaces, people, and more. Resource guarding can occur between dogs and people, and even with other species. Management and prevention are key, and they're much easier than the training options. One prevention tactic is the trade me game. With the trade me game, you ask your dog to give up something that they value, but by giving them something that they would value more, and then you give them the first thing back. That way they get 2 for 1. If there is a guarding issue, please contact OPH Training. Training calm and independence. This is another common issue we see, distress at being alone. It can range from simple boredom to true separation anxiety. Dogs need to learn to self-soothe and to entertain themselves. Giving them toys and chews that they use without you independently can really help. These are things like Kongs, lick mats, treat puzzles, etc. Also, you should really keep your departures and entrances low key. No big hellos, no big goodbyes. You want an affectionate and attentive dog, but you don't want your dog to become a Velcro dog who gets distressed if they leave your side. Dominance myths. This is a very misunderstood concept in dog training, perhaps the most misunderstood and perhaps the most widespread. It is a huge topic and it's one for another video, but I'm just going to give you a very brief history and a few important points. It all began in the 1930s and 40s with a very flawed study of zoo wolves by Swiss behaviorist Rudolf Schenkel. It wasn't debunked until 2000, and it was debunked by a scientist named David Mech and other scientists. There was a renaissance of positive reinforcement dog training between 1985 and 2004. But then in 2004, the National Geographic Channel launched the Dog Whisperer TV show, and that unfortunately set modern dog training back a long ways. Dominance myths, part 2. The top paragraph is a quote from nationally known trainer and author Pat Miller. The alpha myth is everywhere. Google alpha dog on the internet and you get more than 85 million hits. While not all of the sites are about dominating your dog, there are literally millions of resources out there. Websites, books, blogs, TV shows, veterinarians, trainers, and behavior professionals instructing you to use force and intimidation to overpower your dog into submission. They say that you, the human, must be the alpha. They're all wrong, every single one of them. The second chunk of text is the recommendation from the position paper from the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior. It recommends that veterinarians not refer clients to trainers or behavior consultants who subscribe to dominance theories and confrontational training. And the last chunk of text is a partial list of the who's who of dog training. And these folks all do not subscribe to dominance myths. They all advocate for positive reinforcement training, and they include Karen Pryor, Jean Donaldson, Dr. Ian Dunbar, Dr. Patricia McConnell, Dr. Karen Overall, Nicole Wild, Victoria Stilwell, and more. Where to get help. This is another big and confusing topic, perhaps another topic for a video. Dog training is unfortunately not regulated. Anyone can claim to be a dog trainer. The two best known independent certifying organizations are the CCPDT, the Certification Council for Professional Dog Trainers, and the IAABC, the International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants. There are other good non-independent programs. But with these programs, the trainer is paying for the program and then getting certified by the program. With the independent certifying organizations, they don't have a financial stake in whether the trainer gets certified or not. When you're looking for a trainer, always ask about methods and certifications, but definitely methods. Balanced trainers, what are known as balanced trainers, tend to use both positive reinforcement but also aversive methods. Board and trains, where you send a dog to a camp or a home to have the trainer train the dog for you, unfortunately often use aversive methods. If any trainer uses equipment or methods that scare or could hurt your dog, e-collars, which are the same as shot collars, choke chains, prong collars, etc., find another trainer. OPH training is here to help fosters and adopters at any point. Help is available by email, phone, or Zoom, and it's always at no charge. And both of your OPH trainers are certified trainers, certified by the CCPDT. In conclusion, there is a lot to remember when you bring home a new foster or forever dog. Keep in mind, it's important to choose the right dog, to do a shutdown, to do crates or confinement right, to do proper introductions, to try to prevent resource guarding, and to try to teach calm and independence, to let go of dominance myths, and if you need help, don't hesitate to get help, but make sure it's from the right trainer. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.